People think addicts lack focus. I don't think that's always true. I think a lot of us had terrifying levels of focus. We could focus on getting high, finding money, hiding consequences, chasing relief, or feeding the obsession. The issue wasn't that we couldn't focus, the issue was where that focus was aimed. Tonight we're talking about addict hyperfocus, how it hurt us, how it exposed us, and how that same intensity can become a superpower if we learn how to redirect it. I'm Martin Whittam,
Ariel Longoria.
and this is From Addiction to Ambition, the Recovery Roundtable.
What if the obsession that nearly destroyed you is the exact engine needed to build something unstoppable?
Addiction isn't weakness. It's high-level intensity without a compass. It's obsession without direction, drive without structure, energy without discipline. And most people don't lack talent. They lack fire. You never lacked fire. You just aimed it at the wrong thing. Today, we're going to talk about how that same intensity, the one that nearly wrecked you, can become the exact mechanism that builds your freedom.
You had said a story, and we'll get to that here momentarily, but I noticed I have transitioned my hyper focus from chasing a bag pretty much and doing whatever I need to do in order to get high, to completing projects or being on hobbies. Sometimes it can be a detriment, I guess, to say, with my hyper focus. However, I've learned to focus that hyper focus. I've learned to aim it in a more positive aspect.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's easy for it to become, like you said, a detriment, even when you're aiming at something good. If you go too long or get too frustrated, get too close to the project, and you're neglecting your family, you're pushing everybody away because you're just dead set on it. You target that goal, but you gotta set boundaries with yourself too.
Yes.
There's still recovery work even after recovery.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that goes on forever.
It does not stop. Growth is a forever thing, no matter what you're doing. So with that hyper focus, because I know a lot of people have this problem. I know for a fact I have this problem. It's as simple as it is. I hyper focus on jobs. So even though I have timelines, so I own a construction business along with I'm partnered with a graphic and design business. I will hyper focus on it has to be perfect, has to this, after this, and I will get to the absolute tediousness of it. Clients are always happy. However, sometimes it pushes my deadline up, or it'll get me frustrated and consumed with that one little aspect
that nobody else is going to notice but you. And that's that's the detriment part, and that's where systems come into play. That tedious part is you set that pattern of what it should be for repeatable, outcomes. And then if you know that's going to be your downfall on every project, hire out. I mean, you can't always do that in the beginning. You're going to have to you're going to have to learn to push yourself through those and overcome it to an extent. But that hyper focus will always be there and eat at you. Yes. It's an OCD of sorts, and it's in us. It's an addiction. It's just part of it.
And I think then, and that certainly is, and we, as addicts or former addicts or recovering addicts, need to learn that it's okay to have that. It's okay to not be okay with hyper focus. So many people look at it as just a negative trait. so many people think, that they don't know what to learn. How do I phrase that? They wouldn't know what to take from their addiction. They wouldn't know, and that hyper focus is one of the most beneficial things. We know, I mean, there was points in time I was scrapping metal, copper, everything I had to do in order for my next high. And I was going out, whether it was hustling or whatever else. I changed what I did in the streets in that aspect and geared it towards a business and towards a productive lifestyle.
It's that reframe that a lot of, I mean, you can go one of two ways after recovery. You can play the victim forever. You went through this awful thing, and you did. You survived something terrible. But then you take accountability.
Yes.
You also caused that something terrible. But what did you gain from it? It doesn't all have to be bad, you know? Gross. Well, let's just start with the story we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
So, how hyperfocus can be terrible. It was really the first time I really took a look at myself from the other side, and I really saw just how nasty addiction can get. I was always, I hung out with the straight-laced kids. I grew up in a small town, so there really weren't a lot of me there. I really was kind of an outcast in my friend group as far as that was concerned, but I didn't let anybody know. And as I grew up, that was always just a closeted thing for me. Well, I got into meth for a while at some point early out of high school. Kind of came and went for me, but I got into like a 2-week stint, and on the end of that second week, I was completely out, and my friends were having a party around me, and normally I would try to mingle and blend in, but this time I was huddled in the corner like Schmeagol, and I mean, I was sparking my lighter, scraping a light bulb. My thumbs were bleeding from how many times I'd flicked that lighter. My face was covered in soot, and one of them finally just tapped me and said, "You need to stop." And I just looked down and I kind of glimpsed at myself, my reflection, and I just started crying. I didn't know I had been sitting there. I had been sitting there for 6 hours before anybody even
Chasing the high.
just trying to scrape a hit out of a light bulb that had been empty for a day. And I was just trying to get that one hit. And that wasn't even near rock bottom. But that was the first time I actually saw what it was doing to me. On the flip side of that same hyperfocus, though, it got me into shape. I'm not now. Kind of let that one slip. But it got me my real estate license when I started setting higher goals. Because I was sitting at the diner and feeling that same kind of miserable existence that I was feeling in the repeat of addiction, It's not for everybody working a 9 to 5.
Yes.
But I started seeking more, and as soon as I landed on real estate, I was just laser focused, hyper focused there. And I got my license, and it's just really been continuous growth from there, because that's what I want with my life. Is I want to run a business, multiple businesses. I want my family to have a much more comfortable life than even they can see right now. And I mean, my wife believes in me 100%. She knows that hyper focus that I have has never failed. When I lock onto something, I'm gonna get it. It might take me a while, but we're gonna get it. So that's the two ends of it, and there's a whole lot of ways it can go both directions in the middle.
And I think people need to focus, or at least maybe consider those things as well. When it comes to that aspect of what you were talking about, I'm going to put a pin in that real quick before we move forward on that. But there's two lessons that I think folks watching this video need to realize. And there's two things that I learned early on in getting sober and things I still apply to this day. Number one, be a Viking, not a victim. You were sitting in the corner, and let's look at this. You were quote unquote high, living life to you. You're like doing your thing, harming no one, right? We've all sat there and given ourselves all the little justifications that we've possibly needed. However, you're miserable. Now, you could have looked at that through that perspective, the way your friend was like, you need to stop, looked at yourself, pitied yourself, and became a victim. But you did not. You grew from that and utilized that and learned from that. And that goes to number two, which I believe is absolute paramount. A failure is not a failure if you learn from it. It is a life lesson. Now, some things are much more difficult to learn from, and they take a lot more processing, and it takes time to reflect. And sometimes, especially as an addict, you're like, man, that sucked. Sits there and hits a bowl again. Not encouraging that at all. And I hope that's not the aspect or the projection that anybody thinks I'm trying to encourage. However, you need to visualize where you want to be, and moving forward, what you said, having those attainable goals, having the things to progress forward and to hyper-focus on that are beneficial for your life and for you as a being, for your family, for your community. And that in itself is a huge marker and a huge way forward. So moving forward with what you were saying, read a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits.
Great book.
Talking about your daily habits and how they affect you, just being 1% better. So in an addict's mind, not doing drugs that day, you're 1% better. Sometimes it is a day-by-day process. Sometimes it's an hour-by-hour process. Sometimes it's a minute-by-minute process. I'm going to go off something an old sponsor of mine had said. And she had told me, and I apply this too in different ways. She had said, hey, Ari, if you feel like, going to the liquor store or going to catch another bump to stay awake or whatever else, go do the dishes. Now, when Carol told me this, I thought she was effing crazy. I was like, go do the freaking dishes? Who in their right mind? And she's like, yeah, do the dishes or do your laundry, do something like that around the house. What are you even talking about? I want to get high. I want to drink to take the edge off. What in the heck are you telling me? And she said, you get to. You get to do the dishes. You get to do the laundry. And it took me a moment. And so one day I was feeling it, and I was kind of not digging it. Yeah, not digging it, feeling that itch. And I had called her and was like, I did the dishes, did this. And she said, okay. How are you feeling? Frustrated, angry. I guess I have a clean house. And she said, awesome. You have the opportunity to do your dishes and do your laundry. And I said, yes. And she said, cool. Now think if you got drunk and got into an accident and got a DUI, or you were getting high, got busted for the narcotics that you had went and got, and now you're sitting in prison or sitting in jail. You don't get to do the dishes. You don't get to do the laundry. So I apply this to my family. I apply this to my daily life. I get to read a book. I get to know the stuff that I get. I get to have these habits. And at first, it starts with hobbies. It starts, and I know
so many
hobbies. When we were discussing this, when you first get sober, and even after, you have so many hobbies. There's so many things that you affiliate with that back in the day we had never considered. Maybe things you tinkered with when you were on drugs or when you were high.
When you were a kid and you just thought you'd never get back to it. It was like too far gone. I mean,
pottery or painting or drawing.
I mean, it really makes me think of something that I don't even remember where I heard the phrase, but it just started resonating with so much going on in my life, is production over destruction.
Absolutely.
And a lot of addicts are creatives. I mean, it's just, you have that busy mind, you have so much you want to get out, and the world usually doesn't let you do it the way you want to. And so you find a way to do it, and
or numb it.
And that's the give and take on it. Learn how to let it out without hurting yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the production over destruction. You can still, play guitar. You can still make art. You can still build a house. You can still build a business. I mean, all these dreams that I thought were all on the wayside for me. As a kid, I was going to be a rock star. That's what I was going to be. And I lived the lifestyle. So I'm satisfied. Turns out it really wasn't for me. But it was the creation part of it that was important to me. I thought the music was going to be the most important aspect. And I latched onto that. I hyper-focused on that being the only option in my life. And when it wasn't playing out the way I wanted it, I went to the victim. And so I just went back to what was familiar, which was the drugs. As I got clean time again, music didn't feel the same, but there was still that creative itch in there, and I just didn't know how to let it out. I didn't go back to drugs, but I needed something. That's where the hobbies started coming in.
Yep.
And eventually, just tinkering hobbies and little outlets like that weren't satisfying me. And that's where that big mindset shift came into business and huge future goals. And I still go back to the hobbies. I mean, they're not gone.
But it all starts, even the future goals and the business, with your daily habits. With making your bed in the morning. With waking up and brushing your teeth. Sometimes it's just simple hygiene habits. And then you
routine that makes you human.
It is. And a lot of us crave routine. Especially having lived that lifestyle, and we don't recognize that, but we need it.
We fight it.
We fight it a lot. We think we know everything, and it cracks me up. And that's the beauty of it, is we don't know everything, and it's all right not to be all right. It's okay not to be okay, as simple as it is. But it doesn't mean that there isn't something special each and every single one of us can do, and it doesn't mean that we can't use that hyper focus and use our passion and what we're trying to attain for a productive and healthy lifestyle. We just have to learn how to direct it to that end goal that we're trying to achieve, besides drugs or the next party or working this 9 to 5. Because even after you get sober, yes, you will still have to work a 9 to 5. It's as simple as it is. There are still works, no matter what. Even being a business owner, I still work for someone. Whether I'm designing a t-shirt for a company, I'm still working for that company. Whether I'm building a house for someone, I'm still working for them, building them a house.
Break a business down to its smallest factor is you're solving a problem for someone.
Yes.
And there's always going to be someone.
Yes. If there's not, then there's no market for it. And you definitely want to get a business that there's a market for it. So it's definitely a healthy way to find what you want, and then use your hyper focus that you chased after that bottle in that bag to chase after that business, after that lifestyle that you want, that you're capable of attaining, even though there might be people or even yourself in self-sabotage saying, hey, you don't deserve it. Hey, no, I'm not worth it. No, I can't do this, because there was plenty of times I had told myself the same. No, man, I probably won't. No, man, my family go to prison. My family end up dead. Well, they had.
But if that's where you're at
as well.
A good place to start is
changing the mindset.
The mindset. So that's your first obstacle habits. When that's where you're at.
Yes,
is
absolutely.
Reading the motivationals and
other things.
I mean, I used to really think, it's like my mom was really into Zig Ziglar growing up, and I was like, I don't want to hear that. But then like here I am with like the Zig Ziglar collection now, and you think it's woo woo when you don't utilize it or really use it, because again, it's that I don't need this. mindset. But try some of those things they're coaching.
Yeah.
It works. It's real.
Application is, 90% of it. You can learn all you want, but if you don't apply it, you can listen to these podcasts every day. We'll slowly shift your mindset. However, if you don't apply just the narrative and just, what's being said, then you're not going to get anywhere. You're not. You're just going to have a store full of knowledge, and you're going to feel in the same rut that you've been in. So application is key to everything.
It just takes one
and if it doesn't work,
to...
scientific method. Doesn't work? Okay, this did not work. Awesome, try another thing. Or that might work if you apply this also and bring in another factor in which to make it work better for your lifestyle, because not everybody's lifestyle is the same. That's as simple as it is.
Hey, so what works for him might not work for me,
but
and
it might work for me. However, I just have to add this other factor because I have other things, other kids, another lifestyle, a second job. He doesn't have a second job. I write books, whatever else. And so those are definitely the things to consider moving forward with your hyperfocus and with trying to be productive in your lifestyle and growing your brand, who you are, whatever you're trying to build, your business, and just moving in a positive direction.
Definitely urge you to find something that sparks that drive in you, because if you're not going to enjoy it while you're doing it, if it doesn't give you a rush, building it, I mean, you don't have to always like your job, your business. Nobody's going to every single day. Your clients, none of it. But
there's sometimes
if there's a fire behind it, even if the fire is from the end goal that you see way down the road, that's what you should pursue. That's what this is right here. I feel just very passionate about this. I love real estate. I'm going to continue doing that. But from addiction to ambition, even if we can just connect with one or two of you, it'll feel completely worth it.
That is the goal.
It was a 15-year struggle here. I don't know how many times I didn't successfully quit, but now I've got, I think it's 9 years going on 10 clean.
God bless it.
And it's worth it, and you can keep growing past average. Something I love saying is you didn't crawl out of hell to settle for average, and that's exactly what this is all about.
Absolutely.
Well, this is episode 1 of the Recovery Roundtable. We will be putting more of these out soon.
Please like and share this video. Comment. We would love to stay in contact with you. Any concerns or follow up with you for any questions you may have, check out our Facebook page, From Addiction to Ambition.
And there's also the Facebook community. We're going to branch off into a bigger community down the road, but From Addiction to Ambition, Rebuilt and Relentless, that's the room where we're going to be helping each other build and bouncing questions, problems. If you guys are building a business, trying to reconnect with your family, pursuing a passion project of some sort, whatever your goal is right now, we're there as a community of people who've gone through it, are going through it, to tell you what's working, what's not working, what's worked for us. We're not trying to tell you how to live your life, but we're there to help build you up together.
Absolutely.